with the shop manager, keeping a close eye on the project. I mean, yeah, this is the first thing we're going to do is get these hash marks off of here. It'll probably come off okay till we get up to here, and then it'll come off in a million different pieces, and then have plenty of adhesive left over to get off as well. And then we have this horrible paint. I mean, you name it. Chips, scratches, swirls, etching, oxidation. Let's get started. Yeah, it does go down and wraps around the fender, which is the correct way to do it. So let me get some heat and start to peel this up, see how far we can get before it starts cracking into a million pieces here. And as I would have guessed, from here to here came off in little tiny pieces. Now we have all this adhesive left over. For that, rapid remover adhesive remover. That stuff works excellent. The bottle says in only 60 seconds. I could tell you it is almost that quick and effortless. For the most part, this will be a two-step, in some places a three-step correction. And we're going to start with the cutting process. This is hard, stubborn clear coat GM from the early 2000s. This is before they started to transition to a water-based clear. So we're going to cut with, all right, so we're not going to use I normally go with the ACA 500. We're going to go with the adaptive abrasive technology, the AAT. So this is the 3D AAT 501, works wonderfully and works with a foam or wool pad. And I just so happen to have the hybrid purple wool pad attached to the Rotary. Let's get started. Use the swirl finder here to show you just how bad this panel is. Car was washed with a Brillo pad. Let's turn this around. So with the paint being 20 years old, we don't know how many times it's been polished, if it has at all, unless you have an expensive meter like maybe a Defelsco that can read the coating thickness on rubber, plastic, or fiberglass. You're just going to have to guess. And what I'm going by is the orange peel effect in the paint. And there's still some left. So it hasn't been polished, crazy flat yet. And I'm not going to finish with it being crazy flat. And it's not going to be perfect either. We're just going for marked improvement. And let me get through the cutting process on the rest of this fender. Before I move on, I do want to wipe off the residue and see if this step is doing what I want it to, removing the oxidation, etching, swirl marks. There's going to be a little bit of a haze. Not as much as when we'd be working on soft clear coat, but there is going to be a haze that we'll have to finish down. Pretty damn good improvement, but there's room for more. And in the second step, we're going to do that. We're not going to go any further cutting with the wool pad. Let me bring you in and show you what I mean. This is what we're starting with, and this is where we're at. The deep one right there, that's not going to come out. We're not going to chase that. But there are still some swirls in there that I can get. I think you could see them right there. That's how hard that clear coat is. So another pass will get rid of them. Let's continue on and finish cutting this portion. Cutting process on the fender is complete. You can see the haziness left behind. But already there is a nice turnaround. And what I'm going to do is finish it down before I keep moving on. I have enough time today to get this whole side done, so we get to see what the whole car will look like once we're done with it, except for maybe some of the parts on the top. But the sides, the front, the back will look fantastic, and will come a long way. Let me grab what we're going to use to finish. Normally I would go to a fine finishing polish, but with a surface this hard, we're going to finish down with 3D1. So we're going from AAT to 3D1, a one-step pad. Yeah, so on hard clear, instead of a finish pad and a finishing polish, the stubborn clear gets a one-step pad and a one-step polish to finish. That's how hard, tenacious it is. Oh yeah, that'll do. Very happy with that. Reflection, gloss, a little bit of depth. We still have some of the deeper imperfections. They're not going anywhere. They're going to stay. But let me finishing the rest of this fender here. So after using the 3D one to finish down and a good wipe down, I am satisfied with that. You know, if the rest of the car looks like this compared to, you know, what it did originally, I'd be fine driving this, scooting around town. So we're going from this hammered mess to this. Just some of the deeper imperfections left, but a huge, huge difference. So what I'm going to do, on the door here, we're going to have to do 3 steps. Yes, we're going to have to do, sorry about the sun, is what we did on the fender, but we're going to have to add a step up here in wet sand. So I'm going to do this tonight, and I'll break it down into sections. So it'll be another video where we tackle the door and the quarter panel, because this will need wet sanding up here as well. Wet sand from here to here, use the rotary on the whole thing, finish down with 3D1, and this side is done. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I invite you back to see how the progress goes. We'll do it for this video. The shop manager and I are going to keep going, and we'll see you in the next video.